This is The Process Shot. I'm Michael. I'm stuck in a haunted movie theater, and I've seen outside. Well, not the actual outside. Wait, I've made this joke before, haven't I? Anyways, it's a short, new, experimental dance film of sorts, directed by Inbal Pinto and Etgar Keret, which is easy enough to explain, but not so much to describe. Basically, it's set in what seems like a locked-down apartment building, occupied by a woman whose cabin fever has effectively broken any sense of normalcy she once had. However, as a man on the television explains, the curfew has been lifted, and it's getting to the point where the police are forcing people to go outside, as everybody seems to have just gotten used to staying inside. As the TV continues talking, the woman herself expresses her anxieties until her own home becomes something almost literally crushing. It's a metaphor, you see. This short cuts right to the point pretty quickly, focusing almost exclusively on the emotional state of the woman, and by extent, those who might or were also undergoing some sort of anxiety in the real world over the past few years, especially in regards to going outside and having to interact with people after months without direct contact. It then kind of blurs that idea by giving the film an abstract sort of presentation through dance, though not so much so that it isn't just complete nonsense, of course. It's more representation of the greater ideas, in how both the woman in her apartment and the man on the TV are effectively going through the same realization that being cooped up for so long has led the walls around them to almost crush them. And despite their implicit differences and physical distances, it's a feeling that affects both of them equally. The movie is an illustration of this idea that foregoes a traditional narrative and is expressed very clearly through the actual visuals on hand. Despite the single set piece being a pretty spacey room, the camera work makes it still feel pretty clustered and claustrophobic, emphasized primarily through the limited amount of items within the room and what the woman is actually able to do around there. The artistic design helps keep this up by presenting this living space as cold, drab, and, ironically, unlivable, or at least inhuman and lifeless. It's a nice contrast to the active characters within, who are similarly conflicted by their own adaptation to their environments, and the fear of having to return to what was once normal. That all said, this short does make that idea pretty clear on its own, and talking about it at length is really a bit redundant on my part. Still, it's a fun and creative expression of what most people can't really put into words, so I don't mind trying. Outside. Inbal Pinto, Etgar Keret, 2022. 3.5 stars. I'd recommend giving it a watch for sure. That's it for this review. If you liked it, leave a like. If you have something to add, leave a comment. Subscribe to the channel for more reviews. It's nice to get back into the groove of reviewing with a short like this. It's not so nice when the movie reminds me that I'm stuck in a place like this, though.